Hi there. So I'm going to continue with the law of attraction somewhat. And as I said, also this is not the kind of attraction I meant to talk about, but I've been on Tinder now, special place. You know, you can sweep slowly, I just learned. Because there was such a cute guy, super cute, but that's not the point actually, although it matters. But I mean the whole aura, let's say, of that one. I swept him in the wrong direction, and also in a few days, gosh, I'm so impulsive. In a few days, I have ended all super likes, and none of them was meant. So if any of you have gotten a super like from me, it was not meant to be. But because I'm just like that. It's not a good trait. So yeah, I don't know. Don't know what to say about that place, but I've so far had a little bit fun though. I mean, laughing in a kind way, I guess, mostly. oh, yeah. But that was not kind of attraction. I mean that is one kind of attraction, but I really don't trust my vibes to be right. Although I'm quite positive, I think. At the same time, when it comes to that, you know, there is a little, I think it was a book or something, Miss Scared Shitless and Love or something in that manner. And I feel like, neighbors, yeah, I feel like I am quite like that. And so I guess in my case I wouldn't have a mapped out plan. I don't think I can. Or yeah, I can, of course, but I dislike being cynical, and I dislike playing games, although I know it's smart if that's what we want. I mean, if you want to play people, that's not very hard to do. But that's not really what I want to do. I wouldn't feel good doing it, you know. So whatever the gain would be, it would not feel right. So, then there is. Oh, maybe I should take a picture now. Gosh, I need to pause and take a picture. There's like this heart cloud now. Isn't that a sign? Wait, I have to take a picture on that. Oh, so I maybe will put that picture up instead, because it just almost dissolved though. But you can see it. I will put that up instead. I thought about having a picture up on my peyote cactus. That is one of my most treasured friends, let's say. And it's blooming now, this cute little pink flower. And so that and the cat, I guess. Yeah. Anyways, so I will put up a picture of this cloud instead. Yeah. But you know, this whole thing that some people do, some purposely, some, I don't know, most purposely maybe. This whole hot cold thing. I think I can do it. No, I don't ever actually do that much. I do the hot thing. No, but I don't mean like being hot. I mean like in being intense. But yeah. Then again, I can get myself really scared. So yeah, I don't know. Not going to talk about that anymore. But anyways, so let's see now about the law of attraction in a way that I try to learn more about and understand more how to work. Because now this is not right beside before me. I have to move this thing. So in front of me, I mean. And so I do actually start to believe this more and more. And the more fear you have, the more... I mean, in a sense, I'm more fearless than ever. But at the same time, I consider all alternatives in every situation. No, not all alternatives, but many. And many of those aren't good. They aren't great. And I still have them in my mind, just to be prepared for anything, you know. Even though I don't fear actively like such. Still, that in itself, I guess, is a vibration of fear in a sense. So anyways, I don't think that's good. I think what you create then is not awesome all the time. I don't mean that you shouldn't be prepared for stuff, but yeah, I don't know. Several years ago, maybe 10 years ago or so, I mean, I have been doing that, I guess, for longer than that, but I recall that I did that that I was like really, really happy that I lived in a country where you could walk free, and I mean, that's not always the case, that you can feel safe going out and all those kinds of things. And that focus, although I was grateful for it, and really, because I know in many parts of the world that's not the case. So, still, I think that's kind of part. I don't mean that I don't know who listen to this or what you think about these things, but please share if you want, or question me if you want. I love to question my own ideas or ways to see things. But anyways, I think that's part of me. Since I focused on that kind of negatively, although grateful for not being in the situation itself was still focused upon. And so I think that was part of things that I created for myself since then. Among all other things maybe, but yeah. So I tried to figure out how to change that. I'm happy that I've worked through a lot of things, and in that case I'm really happy for the situations also, because otherwise I wouldn't have been pushed to see that, to clearly face myself, let's say, and so. But oh, by the way, they're like digging a hole in the road outside. Maybe you hear it a lot. I don't know if it is very disturbing, so maybe I can't call this ASMR. I don't hear it a lot because it goes on all the time, so I've stopped hearing it. But anyways, the idea of the law of attraction is that you always offer a vibration, and what you offer comes back to you. And so what you like focus on, and not only what you focus on, but what you focus on with energy, like emotion and such. And if you, for example, want something and focus on it overly much, I mean, that's also kind of a fear vibration, rather, that you try to control something very much. Then you push it away as well, and that is one of my skills to do. Yeah. But I start to see, I start to unlock this, not very much so. I mean, in a way, in my actions, in my actions in the sense of vibration. I call that an action because it kind of is. But I mean, it's a choice in some way or another. At least when you get aware of it, it's a choice. So. But what I love most, I guess, with the law of attraction is to see this, if you talk about yin and yang, or the opposites or the contrast in this dualistic world, the way we experience it being dualistic, although it's not, but I mean, it's not really, it's a oneness, but still on some levels of our existence, there is contrast that we experience, so, and that's true on that level, so, But what I love the most, I guess, is that the contrast is actually always serving us. It serves you, it serves me. It's there for our benefit. And that part I love. I love to explore that. That actually I love to sit and watch clouds transform. Now I see this. Never mind. It's like never mind. It doesn't matter. Or maybe it does matter, but now I should focus on this. So if you, as I talked about before, also if you listen to that, and I know there are bunches of great videos. Listen to, for example, Hicks, Abraham teachings. Let's say, I guess that was one kind of favorite that I binge watched for 30 days because it disturbed me so much and it was in my face, and still I found some treasures there, but it was more disturbing and irritating, and she was so forced in her speaking, and that I dislike that so much. And there were so many negatives. I mean, my resistance to that was so high, as well as to the concept itself. And then when I listened to it more, I heard a different kind of softness, and also some of the, I got happier, let's say, really truly, by shifting, I guess, my way of seeing or thinking. So it served me that also somehow. I don't mean that it maybe did to everyone, but then also Teal. I guess I love Teal more now, although she in turn, she also goes into the pain. She also embraced the darkness, the yin side, and integrates that. So she works in a different way, but still, I guess I love that way of viewing the law of attraction also. The integration of it all, rather than I don't know, but in a way it's the same actually. So anyways, they take a different kind of approach to it still, but those are two great ones in many ways. Yeah, but I guess I favor Teal's one, that is. So although that also have disturbed me a lot. I mean, it must be really disturbing to listen to me without focus straying or here and there, but I dislike the whole hyper focus that she has. That I mean, what it does to me is I love to listen to things in a relaxed manner, so you can kind of drift while you listen and still pick up good stuff, maybe, hopefully. But then again, you have to have time for that and feel like it. So she's very on point and it's compact, it's concentrated content, which is good. You just get what you need exactly. Nothing aside from that. So it's very focused. But that is also stressful. You need to be like on your toes all the time when you listen, I think. So it's like, it becomes almost like math to me when I listen to that sometimes. I love to read her. I don't read her blog or so. My eyes don't like to watch a screen for too long, so otherwise I would, I'm sure. But I've read her books, a few, and words in that sense come to me in a slower manner, as slow as my brain, I guess. And so I can embrace it in a different way then. But she's awesome. Anyways, but there also I've had this resistance, I guess, yeah. So I guess everyone who talks about this in whatever way, and there are many others, and whatever suits you. And there are those who talk about it that I still really dislike. Their way of, I feel like they just understand it halfway, and probably that's a reflection of myself. Yeah, probably. But that disturbs me. Those who patch themselves on the chest and seem to think they are better. I don't know. Something about it really, really bugs me. Anyways, I don't listen to others, so I don't have to be bugged about that. Yeah. So, but anyways, as I said, the contrast is serving us. That this world is not like flawed. It's not a shitty world with all the craziness going on. It's a transformative world, and we have great power. And also, when things get worse, in that greater sense as well, not only in our minor personal lives, that too is a sign that it's pushed to that side, so that it can transform into its opposite. The more badness, the clearer it will become that it will build up escrow. She used to say, I think Esther Hicks, of I think that's the word, of great things that we really do want, instead of this suffering that we may create. So, and that gets stronger and stronger the worse the situation gets. But you don't have to have a bad situation to embrace that. I mean, you can turn it around consciously with awareness, instead of being pushed by reality itself, because that's more painful. So anyways, when you feel good, things you want, that shows you your direction. And if you do things you want to do, so I try to really focus on that, to bring more of that positive, because it's so easy to spiral down. It's so easy to come into a mindset of, without even noticing, thinking you're super positive, and then you suddenly mainly think about all kind of horrors or something else, And I think I trigger myself quite a lot when it comes to this love thing. That's kind of a trigger, actually, to see warning signs everywhere. And so what will I draw towards me then? Or what will magnetically mirror or reflect me then? It's not a good thing. So I really need to work on my vibe. So maybe I can try to describe it better. I mean, the contrast, that's obvious for all. There are things we like and things we dislike and things we feel bad doing or having or being or so on, and things we feel good being, doing or having, and so. And what the contrast does, it shows us what we desire. It creates desire, actually, or what we want. It clarifies what we want. And if you have pushed away that, and that is something Teal work with a lot, if you're unclear on that, which I am in this situation, for example, I'm not really sure, and I think I'm not sure I allow myself to want what I want, even. There are things there that are blurry, let's say. Anyway, so it clarifies the contrast, makes it clearer what you want. And by itself then, without your conscious effort, that gets built up. The more contrast you meet, the more the clarity gets clearer. So what we then need is to not be controlling, which is also difficult. To just relax and be receptive. So, because otherwise we keep pushing it away. So it's very easy, but it's also very, very difficult. Because it's not always easy to see how you yourself are and what you do. So, but then you start to see what happens and master it. And understand your feelings and the creation of it all. So, and that's when it started to get really, really, really fun. And I realized it's partly for a long time, but it also depends on, I guess, who you hang around with somewhat. Because when it comes to these kinds of things, or this, even going deeper in thinking and trying to understand reality itself, and that most people don't take time for it. They don't think it's interesting much. I don't think most people around me anyway. And so, I mean, there are obviously those who do. I just don't know them personally around me much. So it would be more fun actually to be with others who also more have that intent. But anyways, I have to do it myself anyways, because there is a reason I don't have those around me. So, and that contrast in itself, because I hear it when they do that. I hear what they create, and there's one or two that I have brainwashed with this, so they bring it back to me, which I appreciate also. Not maybe at the second they do it, but so I get aware again when I myself say some strange things that just focus totally on things that are not awesome. So and also just the whole, I mean, what I love about this most is this relaxation, that the understanding that this is right, to be born in this world with all this contrast. This is a awesome place to be. This is wanted. This is what we want. And meaning, I mean, we couldn't have we have heard this, but maybe not understood, or I haven't understood the great purpose of it, that you can't have the good without the bad and so on. And you can, but not a world without it, It have to be as a choice, as a contrast. And that is fabulous. And it's unlimited, the possibilities. What we can create. It's what we choose, Yeah. And we will always be pulled. We cannot deny ourselves. We cannot deny our core. We cannot deny our love. We cannot deny, not even for a short time. We can try, and we do, but while we try, we get in conflict with ourselves, and we feel bad, and get anxiety and suffering in all kinds of manner, like physically and all kinds of ways. So it will always show when we go against our inner core, who we truly are. We can't get rid of that. And that is pure love. We are love. And oneness. We don't want to hurt others. No one actually does. And I know that people have told me many, many times in my life that I'm very naive in that sense, that I thought that others always without intent did harm others. I didn't think anyone purposely wanted to do that. I realized it's kind of quite naive, but I had that idea for a long time, that they were hurt, or It was something that made them do it that was not what they really wanted. And I still actually, or I come back to that now, but I know there is a, it's not fully how I saw it before, because now I for sure know that people want to harm others and me and so on. And but I still believe that that's when they are dissociated from their core, from their true selves. If we weren't, we would see others as ourselves and don't want to hurt them. And even when you want to hurt yourself, which have been more my forte, what do you say? Yeah, but it have been more of my ways. That is also disconnecting. I mean, I'm part of this oneness. I cannot harm myself and not harm the wholeness. So and I heard this long ago by a Native American woman, and they have so lovely voices, by the way. Sometimes I just want to listen to that. I don't know, when they tell stories or so, I get like in trance when I listen to them. Anyways, there was this woman from the, oh, never mind, I don't remember the tribe, but it was close to New York, I think. An old woman. She talked about that you always leave your purpose, no matter what. She told this story about someone living out in the woods, having like a wild beast-like human with all these long nails. I don't remember the story now, so maybe I don't tell it as it is, but I remember that part. Let's see now. And on those in the maybe I remember it. I will try to tell it. Maybe I stopped just at the end because I don't remember it. Maybe you can find it or add to what it is if you heard it. Anyways, no one dared to approach this person because it was like screaming and being crazy. And so there was someone then who played a flute, you say, maybe, I think, or some music instrument that played that softly and closed in on that person then. That was not seen as a person really. And gradually, yeah, I don't know how this all went, but gradually that transformed, and others learned also not to fear that. Yeah, I don't know exactly the story, as I said, but she told that one. But what she told more so was that whatever you do, you think you search for your purpose, and there is a certain time maybe when you find that thing that is your passion, that you really feel that is your calling, like this communication with the spirit world, or translating that, like this shamanic work that I do. I know, and have always known actually, that it's my path since I was a kid, but I didn't have words for it then. I know that's who I am. That's not only a thing I do, it's who I am in this life. I mean, that's such a core part of my identity, I guess. But I feel that that's when I serve the best others also, and the world overall. But anyways, that you always follow your purpose. No matter what you do, you can never step out of that. Even if you stray as far as that one, that was kind of wild and lost and had lost language and everything. That was part of this whole purpose. Also part of the purpose of those around. And also to learn how to meet that, not to... People probably wanted to kill because they were afraid of that one hovering around their little tiny village there, and afraid to let the kids walk around by themselves, but to understand that somewhere deep within everyone is what they need, what they really truly need is love. And that sounds like a very, I don't know, pink glasses worldview, but it's still actually very, very, it's the truest thing. And the lack of it also is the only thing that can lead to that disconnect. So otherwise it wouldn't happen. I mean, we can explore also, being very curious. We're here to explore. So we can explore curiously all kinds of, stretch, go outside of the boundaries, and may also hurt ourselves and others in that way. But there is a difference when we, with intent, aim for that as a goal itself. And the core there is also always fear. It cannot be anything else. Whatever we fear or whatever we feel we need to protect, that's always the base of it. Violence is never a sign of strength. It always shows weakness and fear. You would never have the need to dominate or control if you trusted in a greater sense. You must think that there is nothing else than you, and the only way to have the best kind of life would be to exploit everybody else or manipulate and grab as much as possible for yourself by whatever means. And what that shows is really distrust, high level of distrust. And that makes me really, really sad. It makes me almost like sad, so that I want to cry for those, because, and yeah, it really does sometimes, because the lack of love in that's really, really saddening. The lack of love that person feel. Yeah. But I also know that I can provoke very much. There is a person that I really love, that I think that I have actually, maybe, hopefully not, but maybe I pushed away that one. Someone sweet. Oh, I wish I didn't. But I guess maybe, I don't know, we will see. Someone that is truly sweet, that I've provoked, I guess, a few times, not purposely, but by seeing goodness too much in people who harm others also, I guess. Not many times, but it have happened. And I do get that also, and it depends what you see. In certain situations and whatever I met, it depends. Probably I'm sure I would react in the same manner or see things the same way if I had the same experiences. But as from where I am now and what I have seen, I can't see anything else as the truth, honestly. And I hope I won't. I hope I won't go into that fear myself. But I know it's a thin line. I'm for certain not liberated from that. I will be easily pushed into that, depending on the situation. I'm absolutely sure of that. And let's hope I don't have to go there. And maybe if I talk about this law of attraction more, I will never have to go there. So maybe it sinks in deeper into me, so I know what I do, and also not let's say attract those worst situations to me. So, but anyways, I don't envy those who have such a lack of trust and such a lack of trust in love as a universal thing that always surrounds and always is within them, because the satisfaction of gaining and constant, that pull within that says that this is wrong, this is not who I the conflict in being on that path still is there, however much they or we, if I were the one, try to numb that sense or that voice within. It's still there. It's still disturbing. But I'm not saying that it's the wrong path for anyone, because it's, as that Native American woman said, it's the purpose at that time. But also there is a possibility always to change and choose something else. But yeah. So anyways, it's a very limited view at the time, but it will grow the more pain, or even when the successes are there, when you gain a lot and you see that, oh my, I'm the biggest, I don't know, still the emptiness will be there, the lack of satisfaction, or the I don't know the English words for it, but the taste of that success will not feel as great as if you find a path with heart, where you actually, but then you have to be so vulnerable, and the fear of that is, I mean, absolutely understandable. And the less trust you have, the more fear, or the less you want to be that vulnerable one. And if you expose others to it, you show yourself also that you are not going to be in that position, which you probably have been. Otherwise you wouldn't have to prove that to yourself and others all the time. So anyways, and I mean, we always have a new. It does not mean that the purpose is to continue on a certain path. That's the choice. But it was not meaningless or without purpose. It have everything, whatever happens, has have a strong purpose. So, but yeah, every thought is a vibration, and every vibration creates things according to this law of attraction, anyways. So that is possible for every one of us to understand and to change accordingly. So, but I mean, yeah, I mean, you can do whatever, but the law of attraction have nothing to do with judgment or being judgmental towards anyone else. And that is how it's sometimes almost portrayed, I think. But some people don't even know or have a contact with their inner being much. It's there as strong as ever and getting stronger, but they may not be so very fully aware of that. So that it takes that connection somewhat, or at least a vague sense of that connection, to be able to recognize the harmony or discord between your thought and your inner being's thoughts, let's say. So that you can be aligned with it. And yeah. And I mean, we will, all of us, that's like where we're heading, we will be fully aware of the power of who we are. We may seem to at least stray or go in a various direction. And every time, especially, that is one thing that I noticed long ago, but I haven't practiced several things that I've known or recognized. I've not actually fully embraced them in the sense of living it, or reminding myself of it. For example, every time I've judged, not every time, that's quite an overstatement, but many times that I've been judging something very strongly, I realize that suddenly I'm in that position, surprisingly, and act as those that I judged did, and so on. And sometimes it's just a mirror immediately that I actually see something that disturbs me in someone else, and when I think about it, I actually do the exact same thing, and that disturbs me even more. But that is one of the things that helped me when it comes to also the Christian concept of or teaching about not judging, or Jesus. And I've seen that working in reality, and that's not because it's you are a good person or do very, but it's because you create that which you don't want if you keep judging. So that's why you need to find a path beyond that. And I hear them now. Those who do that stuff here, right outside. Anyways. So what you judge, you become. Maybe not now. Maybe not very quickly, or maybe you're not aware of it. But it can also be something you become further down the road, if maybe in the next life, to experience that side of it, or so on. And so it really causes trouble. I try to remind myself of that, because I make judgment all the time. Yeah. And maybe that's not the same, judgment and being judging. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So, and when I do these videos, for example, I try to get myself more aware. I try to remind myself. I'm not trying to remind you, actually, although I hope that some of the words that I say may bring something to life in you, or that you will get something out of it that is good for you, or fall asleep at least if you need that. But this is a nice vibe for me, so I think this is good for me to do. I love to be in this just ramble with you. I want to talk about something with substance, though. I don't want to just make sounds or talk about something that mean nothing to me. But I'm curious about all kinds of subjects, so if you have any suggestions of those, that's okay. So, and also this whole spiraling thing, if you keep, since it attracts more, if you think negatively about something or judgmental or whatever, it keeps pulling more things that you see that you can judge, or more things to feel bad about. Or, we all know that in practicality. I know we know all the feeling if you start to, how you get deeper depressed or fearful, or what it is. You can really pull your own buttons like that. But also in the other direction, actually, if you seek things, if you look at things that are beautiful to you, if you seek things that you enjoy to do or want to do, if you do those things, or even think about those things only, that will heighten your vibe, and so it will continue to pull more things. You'll be automatically, naturally reminded of more things that give you that positive vibe, and you will pull more and more and more of that towards you, and then you will spiral up. And that's natural, but still it's easy to forget. So it's really kind of hard practice if you haven't. It's always a hard practice, honestly, until you get very aware of it, and then it's still a hard practice, I think. But then it's more fun, because then and also some of those who teach it may teach that you should be afraid, like, of if you have a negative thought, but that's not it. That's really nothing to be afraid of. It only pulls you where you should be heading anyways. But the whole fun thing is that we are creators. We are mirror images of God, or the Goddess, and we are creators. We create our worlds, and we are also co-creators with each other. And where it actually is one universal, unlimited creative consciousness, creating constantly. But anyways, as we perceive us as single units, then we can see it as co-creating then. But and sometimes it, as I talked about also last video, that sometimes it's just not to. I mean, if we can't find that appreciative vibe or love vibe, or just not to do it. I mean, if we find ways to relax or distract ourselves or sleep or do something that won't make us go into the worst scenarios of our minds, or whatever makes our vibes worse. Because sometimes it can be fun to, for example, whatever it can be, some people, I don't know if it's really a healthy thing to continuously watch, let's say, horror movies or something, but that's another thing. Some things that I've been watching or listening to, like music or several, oh gosh, that really creates an effect. Oh, more so than I thought, was absolutely more than I thought ever could happen. It's like miraculous. It's so strange, reality itself. So, but actually it's not. But I mean, things that I've loved to see or listen to them, and would absolutely not want to create in my own life, have manifested in ways that, I can't even explain how unlikely in a way, or surprising that is. And so I have been really more careful about that, but still it's about the vibe though, mostly, I think. So those who, for example, love horror movies, if they actually have a sense of enjoyment while watching, that still I don't think it brings a negative effect to them. But if you do that with a sense of, I don't know, whatever that could be, revenge or anger or wanting to, I mean, yeah, then it will be worse. So yeah, I hope you understand what I say. Yeah, how I speak sometimes. Anyways. So and also not to think too much about what other people think, because I hear that sometimes around me, quite a lot, I guess, and maybe more so girls, but I'm not so sure about that though. I thought so before, but I wonder, and there may be not a clear distinction there, but sometimes I see clear differences between the sexes, I must say. And mainly, not maybe each individual, of course, but that if you take too much others' thoughts or ideas into account, you will lose track of your own vibe. You will lose track of when you're aligned with your inner being or not, and what you truly want. I hear several people that I talk to now and then that have difficulty in being clear in what they want. I mean, knowing it. And maybe that's the same thing for guys, but they may not talk about it all that much. Maybe. But I also think that girls sometimes are raised more so to take of every other person's needs in account and so on. And not only raised, maybe also evolutionary developed in that kind of way. Because of the needs of the times. Yeah. So it's about noticing the correlation between the thoughts and what we feel. And I have a lot of work to do here. Especially those times before my periods. No, it can be any other time, but mostly actually then the hormones run crazy and you know, and although I know it's that time, I mean, if it comes back every month, no, it doesn't actually. I can feel really quite balanced and happy during those times too. But I mean, you should probably learn to notice that and understand what it is. But it's easier sometimes to believe those negative things. That's when they come running, you don't question them. You think, oh, this is reality and this is how it is, and that's that. While when it's really great or better things, maybe not, you know, doubt it. So those greater thoughts, happier thoughts. So, but still, I should have seen the pattern there. I know the pattern, but when I'm in that period of time, then I totally believe in my own feelings or thoughts, or both, I mean. So that's odd, actually. Although I know that it will change probably soon, maybe in some hours only. But I still believe it fully for a while. Or at least I think I have to do something about it actively. And I can't like wait it out and understand that this is like this too shall pass thing. So. Yeah, so, and also I wrote with a guy now, or actually he wrote, but I knew that. I have not really explored a lot of that. I've been like bored of all those self-help, you know, so partly that is also one thing that I've resisted about Teal, but she approached it in a quite different way that I love now, I realized. But anyways, about self-esteem and self-confidence, the difference there, and about the feeling of being worthy and loved, I guess, lovable, and yeah, when you feel that, you also pull more and more of that towards you naturally, like mirror that. Sometimes I use some words that Hicks have used, like, for example, pull something towards you, maybe they would use. But I guess maybe Teal wouldn't use that. And I think she's more correct. Anyways. It's like all is about perspective. We can seek truth, and everything is like truth from a certain perspective. That's the thing, you know. And there, whatever, in Buddhism there is this a universal truth, you can say, that can never change, and then there are those like minor truths or whatever they call it that can change according to perceptions then. So I guess you can divide it like that, but still it's like saying that there is the perspective of the source or the divine, let's say, or the wholeness, oneness, or the truth of the perspectives, just different variations of perspectives. And to talk of like a oneness perspective, because it's all within all these perspectives. So it's quite difficult even to talk about that. That's why those Zen masters over there, whatever, Taoistic masters, they don't talk, because they know that. So yeah. So it's kind of magic, but it's like the normal ways of the universe and who we are and what we are here to discover and learn. And it's a loving place, that we wish to enter. And I can see that too. I mean, I can see that back in time for all my life, and I know that I start to know that more and more clearly, how I chose into this. And that really becomes a different story. I mean, even if I didn't knew any of this, it would benefit me very much to see it in this way and to change that story accordingly. Not change the story, but the perspective, or the view. Yeah, the perspective, you can say. I got tired of that word just now. But the way you view the story of your life, let's say. It becomes different when you, as also Eckhart Tolle says, that meet every situation or so every now as if you purposely chose it. Because we did. Very strangely. No, but yeah. So, and I start to see that. And I'm really happy I chose this. It's really fun. And one of the most fun things about it also is that there is no rush. There is no, I mean, we are eternal. This lifetime has its span probably where it can't maybe go on forever. Maybe it could, but I don't know if anyone would wish for that, really. But it's just not maybe needed. It's also we like to change, so after a while we would love to try to be something else, I guess, someone else, and yeah, but still, yeah. So, and there is so much we want also, and sometimes that can really be stressful, that there are so many things that are, if we focus on that, we start to realize that there is bunches and bunches, and we can't just fulfill each of those or go in all of those directions at the same time, and there will never be an end to that. We wouldn't want it all at once also, as I think it was the Hicks that told that. I mean, if you don't want to eat everything at once. You want to taste it, first that, or a certain meal at one time, or so on, and then that, that, and or we wouldn't want to have all the orgasms at one time, like. So therefore, we can like savor and enjoy what we do right now, instead of thinking about all the things we don't do right now, because there is no end to it. It's timeless, but it also is eternal. Like, will always be. So there is no rush anywhere. It's perfect. So if we think we're not enough, or we think that it's not enough time, or whatever, we fool ourselves. And we will experience as if we are less and less enough, and less time, enough time, and so. Yeah. And to get in touch with this inner core of ourselves, and that becomes more and more fun, that experience. The more we trust, the more we love, and the more we let that flow, it's like awesome. But it won't be that we suddenly don't have the contrast. That will always come back, because that's how we grow, that's how we expand, and that's the purpose, and that's what makes us happy, you know. So that will constantly be there too. We won't just have one blissful emotion going on. So, but maybe as a core vibe, it will be there though. Even whatever we feel, also as a ripple on top of that kind of ocean of bliss, it will be there. We will know it's there. I think so. So if something feels good or better to you than whatever else, then talk about it and think about it and or do it, you know. So then you create more and more of that vibe and get more and more of that. So when we think we need to do something else that feels worse, we just make excuses to distance ourselves, or explanations. And that's not wrong, that's one path, but that's what we are doing. So when we feel bad, we are always moving towards what we don't want, and when we feel good, we always move towards what we want, rather than the exact words, or let's say what we listen to or watch or so on. But still, our subconscious is this vast container, no, I don't know, but our subconscious is also pick up things that we don't pick up consciously. So whatever we feed ourselves with, that is also one thing that is taught in Ayurveda a lot. That it's not only food that we feed ourselves with. We feed ourselves with everything that we take in through our senses, through our eyes and ears and our minds, of course, our mind, and everything, you know. That creates who we are. That creates not only who we are, it creates the world we live in. And so it's not about being, you know, what's the word for that then? Not enjoying things, but it's to be aware of if we really do. For example, I really dislike, I've done that for many, many years, disliked seeing the news, but for a huge while I just watched a lot of news, and also over and over, certainly in the morning sometimes, because it just kept it on. And some of the news really is disturbing to my whole being. You get a little bit numb if you see a lot of it, but also some commercials where there are those dogs or whatever in pain, or children starving, or I mean everything like that. It's still, even if we numb it, or we just, I don't know if anyone can, yeah, probably you can see it and not react to it, but I cannot. I feel bad when I see those things, and every time I really dislike it. So I prefer, and also certain subjects, and usually the news aren't all that positive. So especially if I feed myself with it over and over, I can watch or listen to news sometimes, but I don't think it's really much helpful all the time, though. For several reasons, not only that. I mean, some of it aren't all that real, maybe. I mean, I'm not one of those who sort of skeptical to all that goes on, but I think that it's also a lot of scam. It's a lot of control going on, and what is would be easier than to use media as such to conform or mold our minds into a certain reactive state or whatever. And so also that I don't want to be brainwashed triggered into seeing things in a certain way, although I mean I like to listen to what goes on in the world and facts, so to speak, or perspectives, but I know I won't go into this whole idea of alternative facts. But yeah, I think I should end. I always talk for very long when I try to do these things, but I hope you got something out of it, that it clarified maybe anything to you, or that you fell asleep and have a good sleep. And so I will upload this now. And thank you for listening, and thank you for the one like last time. I appreciate it very much. So that's also the thing. I mean, if I would have had thousands of likes, I wouldn't have probably felt so happy for one as I do. So thank you very much. And also I'm one of those who don't feel really when someone criticizes you. I mean, it's not making me brilliantly happy. I prefer positive response, but even then, or if it would be unlikes and so on, it really shows that there is a focus. so I tend to take it that way, honestly, or at least I try to. All right, I could go on and on, as you know. I will end now. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and I will talk to you soon. Tell me if there are some subjects you want me to talk about, or as I did, I read some from Wikipedia and then rambled around what I read and so on. Maybe that is fun for some people. I mean, there are other pages you could read from online also, and talk meanwhile, whatever subjects, honestly. So if I don't know about it myself, I mean, or have heard or read something about it, then yeah, anyways, we will talk soon, I'm sure. Take care, everyone, and many blessings in all kinds of ways to each and every one of you, and I will talk to you